the dawn of the day, I can hear you calling his name. With the lead feel hard, I still feel all the pain. Black obsidian walls mixed with sparkling evergreen. It's a comfort to know it's the same thing you were seeing. And I dream of you, and you dream of me. It's a comfort to know it's the same thing you were seeing. And I dream of you, and you dream of me. Could this be the age of discovery? The age of discovery. The age of discovery. The age of discovery. Chill in my bones, our sun rising in the sky. It's you that I ask for, no more telling lies. And I'm holding you, and you're holding me. Could this be the hatred discovery?
Sorry, I was late. I was enjoying the chill of this song, this music, I guess. Good morning. It's Sunday. It's December the fucking cold, whatever. How you all doing? Are you having fun yet? Are you chilling with that second or third cup of coffee? Have you had your pancakes, your cereal, your toast, whatever it is that you have on a Sunday? Oh shit, I can see. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be jumping into this new point and click for me, Lamplight City, Brandislav Games. I'm really liking the art style. I haven't played it at all, but just through screenshots and stuff. It's very good. So I'm going to jump straight in. Let's stop the music. And let's go straight in. Ooh, there we go, Lamplight City. I ran it once, I think, just to set everything up. I might adjust the volumes as we go, but here you go. It isn't an amateur stream unless I've fucked something up. And if you hear the music stop or the sound stop at any point, it's only because I've clicked away from the window to do something, to start a process or whatever. Anyhow, let's get cracking. What do I know about the game? So it's like a detective story with, I think it's 5 different crimes to solve while trying to sort out your partner's murder. You play a PI, private investigator, Miles a Fordham in the city of Lamplight, a Vespuccia, should I say? It's not called Lamplight. That's about all I know. So we're going in blind down a rabbit hole. Here we go. Okay, so we're in the train. Rough night, wake up sunshine. Bill, wake up, the carriage is on fire. Why would I say that? Okay.
Bill, wake up! The carriage is on fire!
That's only funny when I do it to you.
What's the matter? Have a rough night?
I think that's funny for everyone.
Too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us. It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
Afraid she mostly sticks to tea these days.
Miles, what exactly is it we're looking into? I may have dozed off during the briefing.
Right, so I play a lot of story-heavy games, so when there's dialogue and people talking, I tend to not chat over them wherever I can. For 2 reasons, mainly because I'm concentrating on the story, but also I don't want to ruin it, and if I talk over it, I might miss a clue or 2. So, right, you sleep through the briefings? Captain Snelling is going to notice one of these days.
Honestly, Bill, one of these days Snelling's gonna notice.
No, he won't. Why do you think they put him behind a desk? The man couldn't find his own backside with a pair of pliers and a lantern.
Very funny. Anyway, it's a burglary at the Hambrook Flower Shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
You seem awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I'd bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Well, the devil's gonna be disappointed that his winnings are so meager.
Okay, case number 1, solve a burglary.
Ah, we've arrived. After you, Bill.
The city of New Bretagne, borough of Tromondley, 1844.
Thank you. Keep the change.
so our night of excitement begins.
You, more than anyone else, should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
I have a
Chumley,
feeling
is that
tonight
how
will be
we're
the
pronouncing it?
exception. Until we get to the pub, that is.
Keep your mind on the case, Bill. Now let's get a move on.
Okay, so left click to interact with objects. The mouse cursor is context sensitive. Door. Window. Or sign. Street lamp. HMS Legia.
I can't believe that thing made it all the way across the Atlantic in less than a week.
Don't scoff at the future, Miles. Pretty soon, we'll all be riding those things to work.
Oh, it's
Especially
a blimp.
considering Prince Harold is their big celebrity passenger. Glad this thing is lit. This isn't really the type of place I'd prefer to be at this time of night.
Don't worry, Miles. I've got your back. Fordham, what are you doing?
I was gonna check inside this trash can for clues.
Miles, in the 15 years we've been partners, how many times have you found something inside a trash can that wasn't garbage?
Fair point.
Alright, it's just garbage then. Let's look through the window.
Looks like they've had some trouble with vandalism.
Pretty much every business in this part of town has.
That reminds me. I should pick up a bouquet for Addie when we're done here.
Seems like you've been spending more time with me than with her lately. I sure hope she's not the jealous type.
I guess we go in the door? Don't suppose there's anything around to the left, is there? No. Alright, through the door.
Come on, Bill.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Always so to the point, Fordham. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
I think I'll
Stop
leave that
and
to
smell
you,
the
Bill.
roses.
My allergies? Hardly.
Right, so I've got a center display, a flower display, we've got a price list, hanging plants, lots of plants, shelf, got a bell. Bell will call the owner, probably.
The staircase isn't very well lit.
I'll go first. That way you can catch me if I fall.
We should probably ask for permission before heading up there.
Let's have a look at all the
Not
displays.
too many left. Seems business isn't so bad around here.
Well, you know what they say. There are only 3 certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
I take advantage of a sale now and
This
again.
is quite the selection. Come over here and take a whiff, Bill.
Sure, if you don't mind me getting snot all over your coat.
Oh, no, not the Myers case all over again. On second thought, you can just stay over there. This is quite the selection. Come over here and take a whiff, Bill.
Sure, if you don't mind me getting...
Oh, no, not the Myers case all over again. On second thought, you can just stay over there.
No, I've done that. Okay, what's this?
Plants hanging on hooks. A nice space-saving method.
I'd probably bang my head against them constantly if I had them in my apartment.
Okay, let's have a look at the shelf.
Mostly a bunch of fertilizer and growth tonics.
Growth tonics, eh?
Plant growth tonics, Bill.
Of course. I knew that.
Oh dear, right. I guess we ring the bell. If the owner comes down. Ding ding. Oh no, just
Be right
ding.
there. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles? Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I'm Cecilia Handbook, and this is my shop. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm Detective Miles
I
Fordham,
would've-
and this is my partner, William Legere.
Okay, so
We
we're
received a report of a
cops.
burglary at your store.
A report? From whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
It was made anonymously. But are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times. But considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here,
So
I
she
didn't
didn't call
think
the
they would be
police.
interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Sandbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Very well, Detective.
Right, so I can ask about the burglaries herself. We're in the conversation. Well, I'll ask about the burglaries first.
Could you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
About 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable or arrive in poor condition. These things happen. Then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time, I noticed something rather odd.
Go on.
When I opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter. That's exactly the cost of 2 orders of lilies. Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for 1 order on the counter. I believe that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies, and leaving money
Why
behind.
would you break in, steal
How
lilies,
unusual.
and buy lilies that way? Ask about the payment, I guess.
So this burglar has been paying for the stolen goods?
That would appear to be the case, yes. I really don't think this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't
Well,
bother
surely it's
reporting
still
it to
breaking
the
and
police.
entering.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
Alright, I'll ask her about the break-in.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
It's Trevor.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I make sure to keep them locked, and neither of them have been broken.
Would you allow us to have a look upstairs?
Is that really necessary? I was just about to close up the shop.
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may, but please, don't dally too long.
So I have a casebook that gets updated. Let's ask about the assistant, because if he's got a key...
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Do you trust him?
Implicitly. I've known him for ages, and he has been my full-time assistant since shortly after my husband died. You're
Oh,
not
has he?
suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now. He'll be bringing my flower order within the hour.
Good. We'll meet him here then. If that's all right with
But
you.
she was about to
I
close up.
suppose I
so-
don't really have much of a choice, do I?
Interesting.
Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective Fordham, this is Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious character. And if you've noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite a bit in this neighborhood. If you're looking for trouble, you're far more likely to find it out there than in here.
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the ordinary near your shop.
Only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight. That is most definitely out of the ordinary.
Have you been in business long?
Ask her about
yes,
herself.
I opened this shop 30 years ago, along with my late husband, David. But the past 10 years, I've been running things on my own.
Don't
I
you
know you
feel
haven't.
unsafe
You have an
being
assistant.
here by yourself so late into the night?
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have, it takes quite a lot to scare you.
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Access the casebook at the top of the screen or right click. Okay. Current case. Honor amongst thieves. The Hanbrook flower shop has been burglarized. Will the burglar return, or is this investigation just a formality? Find a point of entry upstairs, wait for Trevor Hastings and speak to him. Oh, hang on, there's these things up here. These are clues. Missing lilies, point of entry. Suspects. Got no suspects yet, no documents. Okay, so we want to head upstairs. Looking for a point of entry.
Interesting choice of decor in here.
Perhaps it wasn't always used as a storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather drafty in here.
Drafty? Does that suggest that there's an opened window or gap or something?
Lamplight City, in all her glory. The window latch, securely locked. Interesting. There's a gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room.
Uh-huh.
I wonder.
What are you thinking, Fordham?
That it's time for an experiment.
Time for an
I'm going to need a tool, however. Something
Tool.
long and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something like that around here.
piece of wire or coat hanger or something like that. In the gap, lift the latch.
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're going to be repaired. I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs. A rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling, if he ever smiled.
A young lady. Perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hanbrook?
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
A pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much understood art, but it would be nice to see a place like that in person.
What's the heater doing up here?
I would imagine that keeping a consistent temperature in here is important for the flowers.
When do you suppose this contraption was last serviced?
Hard to say. Definitely not recently, if the dust buildup is any indication.
There's a device on top of the...
I've seen this type of device before. It's a
Elf.
special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water conditions can be adjusted. Seems to be empty right now, though. And judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
It seems Mrs. Hanbrook isn't too fond of steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
Right, so we're looking for something long and thin.
I don't think this window would serve as a viable means of entry.
It's a nice view, though. You can hardly see the vomit and manure piles on the street from up here.
It's like a little bit of wire. Something like that. I don't know if I'd have to go back downstairs and get it, or can I get it around here? Maybe look in the garbage. Hotspot icons will change when new interactions are available. Ah. Aha. One of the hooks from the
Aha!
hanging plants.
This hook is exactly what I need. Mrs. Hanbrook, may I borrow this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
Yes, it is.
I promise I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
Alright, now I can go back upstairs. The game has a quite a neat little single-click interface. There is no... I mean, obviously right-click gets to my clues and stuff. But I have no inventory to speak of, even though I've just picked something up.
Good. Bill, it's time for our experiment.
And what is this experiment going to be exactly?
Simple. I'm going to see if this hook can get me inside the shop. Rather dark out here.
Watch your step, then. This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine. Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
That worked just fine.
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that, anyway?
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Positive. We were a few pints in at the Angel about 5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
That would be telling, I guess. Alright, so we go talk to, what was her name? Anna? No. I have to talk to him, I guess.
Trevor.
Trevor?
Evening, Cecilia. I've
Cecilia,
got
there
the
you
order ready
go.
to bring in.
Trevor, these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say there's been a report about the burglaries, and they're here investigating.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long. As much as you want to, we can't handle this ourselves.
So he reported
We can discuss
it.
the matter later. In the meantime, the detective would like a word with you.
Maybe it
I'll
wasn't
be
him.
needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
Now, Mr. Hastings, if I could ask you a few questions?
Go on, then.
Right, let's ask him about the burglaries.
What can you tell me about the recent burglaries?
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman. But sometimes I think she'd rather jump in a rose bush than ask for help. Had to take matters into my own hands. This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own, as much as Cecilia would like to. Anyhow, alls I know is someone's been making off with some flowers and leaving money behind. No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother paying. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even burglars don't do their jobs correctly.
Do you have much experience with burglary, Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, detective.
Have you noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, and drunkards. Like I said, it's a real mystery.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course, there's no great science to it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over to Gascon around sunset when they get their shipment, and I give them her order. They load up the crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours. Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave the crate inside for Cecilia to open in the morning. That's all there is to it. Told you it wasn't very complicated.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that time?
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be old, but I got good eyes. I'd see if there were anything amiss. Besides that, I check to make sure the crate is still sealed when I drop it off. I'm not about to let Cecilia down by being careless.
Hey. Let's ask him about himself.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been about 10 years now, I reckon. I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work. Used to be I had a job at one of the airship yards, but they let me go after I was injured by one of those newfangled steam machines. So the offer came at a good time. Besides that, Cecilia needed looking after, even though she'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, we're both getting a bit long in the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping this up, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along, even if it is murder on my back.
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people these days seem to respect that.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings. I'll let you get back to work.
Appreciate it, Detective. If you don't mind, Detective, I still need to check the crate before I bring it in.
Of course. Thank you again for your help.
Okay. Oh, there's my partner come back.
Learn anything?
Possibly. I may have an idea.
Ah, you're being cryptic. That's always a good sign. But if you've got a plan, let's talk about it.
No idea. Ask Bill about surveillance. Missing Lily's point of entry. Right, those are the clues. Oh, I can click on them. I didn't know this. 3 orders of Easter lilies have been taken, but money has been left for them. Why would the burglar bother to leave money behind? According to the owner, the only points of entry in the shop are the front door and the upstairs windows, both of which she keeps locked. Only she and her assistant have the key. My experiment with the hook proves that it's possible to unlock the window from the outside by using a hook-like tool. This is most probably the way in which the burglar entered the shop. But no suspects, no documents. Okay, ask Bill about surveillance.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
Let's ask about the area
You ever
first.
miss living out here, Bill?
About as much as you missed stepping in that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were telling me about your sister. How's she doing out west, anyway?
Well, she's not in the chum, so fantastic. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dogfight. I'm glad we both managed to get out. Oh, and by the way, Miles, you didn't do such a great job of cleaning your shoes.
That would explain all the funny looks I've been getting.
We could ask Bill about himself.
Still feeling rough, Bill?
Yes, but I'll feel better once his case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or four.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
Ask him about burglary.
I've heard of honor among thieves.
Basically,
Have you
ask
ever
him
known a
about
thief to pay
everything.
for stolen goods?
Classic point and click.
Perhaps conducting normal business is just too boring for him. Do you think he might be doing it for the thrill?
There
Yeah,
could be any
always doing
number
it
of
for the
reasons.
thrill.
The best way to find out is to catch the culprit and ask him ourselves.
Ask about Cecilia.
What's your impression of dear old Mrs. Hanbrook?
I like her. Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails Chumley woman. Reminds me of my mother.
Your mother was never quite so stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant to accept our help?
It's a chum thing, Miles. You wouldn't
She's
understand.
involved somehow?
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hanbrook's assistant, Trevor?
Yes. I feel sorry for him.
Why?
Why?
He seems to enjoy his work.
Nah, it's not that. He's obviously smitten with Mrs. Hanbrook, but she won't give him the time of day.
What?
Oh, he's
You
in
only saw him for a
love.
few moments. How in the ether did you get that impression?
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine. I see what you mean.
Really, Miles. You'd be surprised what you can learn from people if you just look at them.
Why bother doing
Just
that
look
when
at-
I've got you to do it for me?
Alright, so now we ask about the surveillance.
Right. Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can only conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So, what do you propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this before the trail goes cold.
I was really looking forward to getting that drink at the Angel tonight, too.
I know, but it's as you said yourself. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Besides, forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea how to have any fun.
I'm sure I'll get the hang of it one of these days, especially with your expert tutelage.
I was
Okay,
saying Miles
let's
is
go
the
have a
boring
chat with
one.
Mrs. Hambrook.
Bill's the
I'm
drinker.
sure she'll be delighted to know we're spending the night. Damn, I forgot to bring my deck of cards again.
At least it's quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said, oh, right.
Hmm?
Your sense of humor remains on point.
He's a funny
Miles,
man.
have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
The Force, the city, going off and seeing what else is out there, you know?
I'd miss it too much. Wouldn't you?
I was thinking I might visit Harley out west. She makes it sound like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces, fresh air. I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week, but...
You should do it. A change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider, after all.
Ah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh. I think I heard something.
Oh, hide. Oh. Looks like he came up on a lift.
Oh, no!
Bill? Stop! Police!
Damn it! He's got up the fire
Literally,
escape. We
he
can corner him on the
sneezes and
roof.
that's it.
Stay close and keep me covered.
Screws the entire operation.
Bill!
Stay back, officer. I've got a knife. Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your pistol, now! There's really no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget this ever happened. Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles. Take your shot before things get worse.
There's a choice to make. Reason with the burglar or take a shot. If I take a shot, I risk shooting my partner. If I reason with the burglar, I risk him stabbing my partner. I'm going to take the shot.
No! Bill! Oh, God!
Oh shit.
I'm so sorry, my friend.
I shot my own
I'm
partner.
so sorry.
Oh shit. 3 months later. Oh shit. I wasn't expecting that. I shot my partner.
Miles, wake up! Your house is on fire!
Huh? What?
You see, I told you it was funnier when I did it to you.
Yes. Hilarious.
What's the matter? Have a rough night?
Overdid it on the soporific.
He talks to dead people?
Why do I feel like I've had this conversation before?
I'm just glad you're in the mood to converse again. Seriously, you took so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
Okay, so I'm talking to dead people, or Bill's talking in my head. Maybe I'm going a little bit mad?
That was the idea.
Come now, you don't really mean that.
Believe me, I do.
I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you whine about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
So why can't you just leave me alone?
If you're just as miserable, why don't you just go away and leave me in peace?
Believe me, I wish I knew how. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Yes, I know. Find the burglar from the shop.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion, considering it was you who killed me. But the
Oh, don't
point
rub it in.
remains, you wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
Justice?
Justice?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others. Closure.
You do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that happens, I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Definitely don't want to end up in an asylum.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air, or Adelaide's gonna start wondering if you've gone mental. Or just maybe, she'll stop wondering.
Very funny.
Right, let's have a look around the room.
Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore.
Wait, am I playing Bill or am I playing Miles?
Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down. You should have let me be buried wearing my hat. At least it wouldn't be gathering dust like it is now.
If I'd done that, it would be dust right now.
Heh, fair point. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. I'm certain a permanent indentation in the shape of your rear is starting to form on that thing.
What's this
That's a fun little
gyroscope all
apparatus
about?
Adelaide got you. Very soothing.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporific's doing. Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then. I always liked that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room. Cozy little winter getaway. That would be a welcome change from the winters in this city. Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music.
Can you imagine a ghost humming away in the background while you're having sexy time with your woman partner? Just
Miles, care to explain what you're doing?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here still is.
Right. If you start taking that stuff during the day, you're really going to have problems. Adelaide's mother certainly enjoyed pressing flowers. Do you suppose she does more of it now that she's retired? Adelaide's mother certainly... It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you.
Right, what's this poster?
That poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
So he met his woman, met his partner at the pub.
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
Right, so we've got a
If
message.
there isn't a pair of scissors or a hairbrush in Adelaide's hands, you can bet there'll be a book.
I can talk to my wife. Look at the
It
mirror.
might do you some good to look in the mirror a bit more often, Miles. You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes. I always liked that painting. It's impossible to see that kind of scenery here in the city. I can see why Adelaide calls that plant Miles Jr. It's a spitting image.
Why would you name a plant? That's just odd. So I got the message, I got the newspaper. Do I carry on looking around the room?
Bollingworth Ale, my favorite.
Yes.
And a nice souvenir from the Angel.
To be complete,
you
I
really ought to
probably
go
should.
back there someday. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair? Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one. Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move. Didn't I give you two that clock as a wedding present? Too bad it stopped working.
Alright, let's have a read in the newspaper. Remembering the HMS Legia. This Tuesday marks the 3-month anniversary of the tragic crash of the HMS Legia. That's the blimp. The Legia was preparing to make its second transatlantic voyage when disaster struck. The airship burst into flames shortly after departing for England, crashing into Foster Park. All 300 passengers on board, including HRH, His Royal Highness Prince Harold, were killed, as were 54 bystanders in the park. Royal Maverick Lines conducted an investigation and ruled the crash an accident, citing the ignition of a gas leak. Despite this, rumours of sabotage persist. Royal Maverick vowed to instill stricter safety regulations going forward, and that the Legia's sister ship, the HMS Lenore, would be extremely safe upon its completion. There has been public outcry and protests at the continued page 7. Gascoigne Grand Dame dies. Madame Laura Dupre, age 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. Born Laura Chesterton in London in 1800, she and her family moved to the New Britain in 1804. In 1818, she married Colonel Andrew Shepherd, a royal officer, 30 years her senior. The marriage lasted 1 year, ending with Shepard's death during a trip to Piedmont shortly after. Shortly after, Dupree married Benjamin Montgomery, a doctor. They had 2 children, Juliet, born 1820, and Andrew, born 1821. Sadly, Benjamin died of tuberculosis in 1830. 5 years later, Laura married Jean Dupree, a banker. Dupree was known throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy of exclusively employing humans rather than using automated service machines in her manor. Funeral services to be held. Page 5. Ether City, it's real and it's coming, says scientist. The existence of ethericity, a substance said to possess both energetic and restorative properties, was first put forth 2 years ago by Dr. Bennett Clark. His presentation at the annual Vespuccia Science Conference at the University of New Britain was extremely divisive. Dr. Clark claims that ethericity exists in small amounts on Earth, but is mainly located in the celestial region, commonly referred to as the ether. Imagine electricity, but hundreds of times more powerful. In addition to powering our lights and machines, it can also significantly reduce the effects of aging and heal the sick. The sky will no longer be the limit, he described. Dr. Clark has yet to secure significant funding for his experiments, as his harshest critics have dismissed him as a crackpot. However, there are those who believe that, continued page 9. I don't know if any of this is an actual clue to anything that I'm doing. No. New Britain police are investigating a murder in Chumley, similar to one which occurred in that borough just last month. Though many details are confidential at this time, they're able to confirm that both victims have been male and died from gunshot wounds. New Britain police declined to reveal any further details and denied rumours that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said Chief of Police Reginald Snelling. We have our finest detective on the case and hope to find whoever perpetrated these awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask the citizens of New Britain, especially those in Chumley, to remain vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity immediately to the police officer. Coverage will continue as the story unfolds. Okay, that sounds like something's going on, and that's probably part of my investigation. So let's check the message. Fordham, a big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Raven Coffee House for more details. C. Upton.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the ruined coffee house. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
Okay, casebook's been updated. Meet Upton at Ruin Coffee House.
I'll see you later, Addie.
I wish you'd let me fix your hair before you go out like that.
It'll be fine.
Okay, the city of New Britain. So that's the Ruin Coffee House, and that's the Fordham residence. Guess that's where we're going.
Ah, the Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte. All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee? Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles?
I'm just going to look round the shop.
Nice seaside landscape. Definitely a stark contrast to the ambiance in here.
So what are all these adverts?
Green's Sulfur Soap. Beautifies the complexion and leaves you smelling fresh as a daisy. Talk about false advertising. I couldn't get a date for a week after using that stuff. Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely guaranteed to restore vitality, youth, and vigor or your money back. For use by men only. These things seem to have had a spike in popularity recently.
Oh, yeah?
Dr. W.S. Sales Wonder Tonic. The best and safest medicine for both gentlemen and ladies. Prevents consumption, general weakness, feverishness, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, flatulence, and head pain. They should also mention that it prevents breathing, heartbeats, and being alive.
Don't take that stuff.
Professor Xander Colt Tit III's emulsified soporific, available at all discerning pharmacies. I really don't know why you think taking that rat piss every night is a good idea for him. Simon Banks, professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin, but thankfully, your chimney is clean. P.D. Preston's patented papier-mâché perambucat. Handsomely upholstered in silk, satin, or velvet, and hand-painted in the most artistic manner, as shown in engraving. I suppose if you and Adelaide ever finally decide to have children, something like this will come in handy.
Okay, so I guess...
Not much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they? Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times. He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring.
This is who I'm here to see.
Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies.
But I'll check everything else first.
Judging by the sooty apron, this man is either a metal worker, a chimney sweep, or just really lazy when it comes to washing. Just one of many patrons contributing to the oppressive thug in here.
Bug?
She's running back and forth at lightning
Not
speed.
quite sure what that
Clearly,
means.
she dips into the coffee supply. A young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add.
I think that's
There's
actually a
my old
violin.
friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
Oh, only order water. I got your message. What's going on?
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
Right, that was the one in the news.
Laura Dupre. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared
She
about
was
those
in the
types of people.
newspaper.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Why not just ask her?
Why not just ask Madame Dupre herself?
She hasn't spoken since the ordeal. Apparently, she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Yeah, go on. I've got a couple of questions.
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
Ask about herself.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
So let's ask about Bill's death.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder?
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But the man who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
Will do.
She has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from Upton.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Okay, so let's try and figure out who tried to kill Madame Dupre. So we can talk to Dupre, the guy in jail, and his house. Let's actually go and speak to him first.
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he? I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention. He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business.
Okay, we won't try any funny business
Either
then.
crime is low, or the police aren't doing their jobs very well. Not much in the way of comfort. No bed or even a bucket. It's a good thing this place is meant for short stays.
Right, let's go talk to Albert, see what he's got
Mr.
to
Martin?
say.
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
Okay, so let's ask about himself first.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
So does he actually know Madame
What can you tell me
Dupre?
about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham.
He's
You will
innocent,
have to believe me.
But he doesn't
I'm
like
afraid you're
her.
not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
Uh-oh,
You see,
indeed.
I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliette Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
So let's ask about the mother.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... How can I
voodoo
explain
witch
it?
doctor.
You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
Oh, was mother involved in some way but not her son?
Tell me about Juliet.
Perhaps.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say, had the same taste in books and art, didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand.
She's what?
How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
But we'll go and find out.
That's all for now.
Oh, wait. Before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Got to
Whatever
be
happened to
code
a
for
simple
something.
I love you?
That has got to be code for something. You don't say something like that and it mean exactly what it sounds like. Right, so let's go to check out the house, talk to the woman.
Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs. One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Oh no. And the restaurant's serving
Bonbon's
cat.
Restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for.
Okay, so I guess this is where we're going, 451.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Very well dressed lady.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
What does that message mean?
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
So I can, I guess, have a quick look around. To open the curtain. Interesting.
It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
Okay, so let's talk to Sabine.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
So let's ask about her son first.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
I want to know about herself, and then I'll ask her about the message.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Fair enough.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Right, let's ask about that message.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
That's an odd option to be there. Ask for tea. She offered tea. He said no. And now I can ask for it.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
No. She's going to go heat up the kettle. I'm going to open the curtain.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Let's just, I guess, talk to her again and see
I've
if
got a
she'll
few
tell
questions
me
for you, Mrs. Martin.
about
I'll
the
try to answer them the best I can.
stuff behind the curtain.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
I've done the wrong thing before, but I'm going to push on.
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back room are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham. You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
But without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
And now you insult me? You're really something special.
What can I
won't say it again. Get out!
My mother says I'm special.
You clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
An interesting notion.
Okay. I'm guessing she's not going to talk to me again.
Does it really surprise you that she's not answering?
Okay, so now I will go talk to Juliet, if I can find her.
Oh, it's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though. Those flowers are quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me. I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them? One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
There we go. Talk to
Pardon
Juliet.
the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
To ask about herself.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
I like a
My
good
wife
plant.
has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Alright, let's ask
These
about
plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Ah, but I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Let's ask about her mother first.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
What, because of Albert?
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
Ask about the relationship.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've
Their
never
mother.
completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was
Mothers
younger,
usually do
she
that,
used to
I guess.
forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No,
Could have
I
been one of
wouldn't
the
say
servants,
so.
I guess.
She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Right, so I guess I need to speak to Mrs. Dupre, Madame Dupre, and Amelie. And that'll be at the manor.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
You are aware you've got no hair.
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupre. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupre's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
This fountain
I'll
probably
have
looked
a
nicer when it
definite
was
look
working.
around.
But right now, it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Okay, I guess I'll head into the manor and speak to the son, who's in his loungewear.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes, well, I'll
I think he's a
have a
little
look
bit
around, and I may need
high.
to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him. What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Dupre's a cool copper.
Ollie want a cracker?
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Who's Ray?
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
So long, birdie.
Bye-bye.
Who is Ray?
Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Go to the kitchen or upstairs? I just wander around the house? Go talk to the kitchen staff, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight.
Ooh,
I wonder how it
gumbo.
compares with Upton's special recipe.
You like a good
Certainly
gumbo.
no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. It's times like these make me wish I could still eat. Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever. Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. and I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you'd just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
Right. Let's ask about Madame Dupre
Tell
first.
me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens. He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
Let's ask her about her death.
What do you know about Madame Dupre's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Well, it could be him.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house. But I think he only uses one room. Better for me. Way less to clean.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Sure. You go back to work. I will go and investigate upstairs.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
I've got this doorway, this door, this door.
Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
I just check each one by one.
The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed.
This one's open. Try this one first.
Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be. I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I at least have similar tastes. Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder. It must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. The Science of Pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Andrew, enclosed is the agreed upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you with home pharmacies. I'll look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel. Joshua. P.S. Sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait a few days before passing by. Okay, something's... Question residents of Dupre Manor. The message from Upton, that's the letter from Andrew. Okay. So we're still working on things.
These should be useful.
Visas, okay.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing. Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird. A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out. Decadent. Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
Okay, I think that's...
Hmm.
Oh, I can take
the bottle is empty.
I can take the Vigor Pill bottle. An empty bottle of pills designed to energize even the laziest of people. Recommended for use by men only. Contains 98% benzomethylglyconin. Benzoyl I can't pronounce long words like that. How does anyone pronounce long words like that? A useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach, or for picking those pesky long eyebrow hairs. D. Shupin and Sons. I can play him. I can't remember any tunes. I don't know what the point of this is. Maybe there's a clue somewhere that means I need to press certain keys and maybe a hidden compartment opens or something like that. Let's go try the other door. The door next door to this door, which is this door. It's probably locked. Oh no, not locked. Whose room is this?
Juliet really likes plants
That's
and
Juliet's
flowers,
room.
doesn't she?
Okay.
I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
Rummage through the drawers.
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
I think that's pretty much it in this room. The drawers are empty.
Let's have a look through these papers. Aha, what's this?
Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a series of burglaries in the neighbourhood near the room you're renting from me at 76 Forest Lane. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find enclosed a copy of your new key. I hope this doesn't cause too much of an inconvenience. Yours, Edwina Crestfell.
So, Juliet is renting a room in the Chum. That's certainly interesting. I can't wait to see what sort of dirty secrets she's got hidden away in there.
We're about to find out. And now we'll go to the other door, next door to the door, next door to the door. In this door.
A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror. That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one.
Fainting couch. Okay, so we've got The Person of Crook Hall.
One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories.
Convent of the Damned and other short stories. Chesterton's A Brief History.
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting.
But choice and consequence.
Choice and consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that?
Question.
I don't even want to know what that one's about.
Mesmerism. Buffalo Skinner, A Wild
I read
Man's
that one
Tale.
last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
And now that I've read them, I can't pick any of them up. Nope. Again, maybe there's a clue. Maybe there's a hidden door behind them. But I would need to work out what the book is. And then pull the book. Oh, there's a book
Seems
missing.
Madame Dupre fancies herself a poet.
To dream, O Morpheus, caress my cheek. Bring forth the soothing visions. Give me strength when I am weak. Allow me some provisions. In your domain I am as a queen, controlling all I see and hear. I've travelled places I've never been, and know not the meaning of fear. Laura Dupre. Dove. The dove is pure, serene and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky. Its gentle coos unlike the wail of the cursed crow that will not die. Protect the dove from grim defeat, let it remain in gentle flight. When the crow's allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night. Laura Dupre.
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often. Nah.
What's this note
It would
here?
appear that Madame Dupre was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
Clue, perhaps? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's just one scale. From lower C to middle C. Is that lower? Yeah, lower C to middle C. I'll go check that out in a sec.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me. Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Now this is intriguing.
I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting... I'm going to have to read that in here. I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house, or I'll kill go myself. All right then. Right, lower C to middle C. I'm making an assumption that that was code. That's middle C, that's lower C. Anything happen? Nope, nothing happened. What about all the notes between lower C and middle C? Nope, nothing. Right, let's go talk to Andrew downstairs. Andy, my friend, let's go. Let's have a chat.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Nice sideburns.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
Let's ask about
What can you
Mummy
tell me about
Dearest.
Madame Dupre?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
Right, what about Juliet?
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
So he doesn't want to talk about his sister. What about your parrot?
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
Yeah,
Really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery.
he's kind of bad. Ask him about the Vigor pills.
I found this bottle of pills upstairs. Are they yours?
Yes, I take those from time to time when I'm feeling tired.
You seem to be out.
Yes, that is a pity.
Where do you usually acquire them?
Oh, they're available by mail order only. I'll have to remember to request some later.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Okay, we'll go talk to the doctor outside then, see if he can help with bringing Andrew around.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
How long have you been Madame Dupre's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Bloodletting? What, with the leeches?
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
Let's ask about the death, I guess.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupre had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupre wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look.
Right, another place to check out. I need to talk to him about the sedative.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
If I can find some of that vigor pills. I could give him a vigor pill, kill him, but I might be able to talk to him.
Did you examine Madame Dupre after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupre to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupre was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Probably needed a good meal.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Well, I can't deny that the evidence against Mr. Martin is somewhat damning. If his mother was so sure of his innocence, she'd surely have explained what all those things behind the curtain were. I don't think Upton will appreciate being proven wrong. But like Fellows said, facts are facts. Her eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person.
I think I'll go check out the cemetery then. Anywhere new I can go to. I can go to 76 Forest Lane. That's where I'm pretty sure that is where yeah, 76 Forest Lane's proportion, the key to where Juliet is renting. So suspect Albert Martin, accused by Madame Dupre's son, involved with Dupre's daughter. Upton thought he was innocent, but his family practices voodoo, and Dr. Fellows indicated that Dupre was likely poisoned. Okay, so I question the residents of Dupre Manor, investigate the rented room, investigate the Chesterton tomb, find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. Coffee would do, I guess, as a stimulant. Turn to Upton and accuse Albert Martin. Okay, I'll go to the coffee house.
She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply. All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
But how do I get a hot cup of coffee?
The specialty house brews. These are definitely not coffee. Give me an old-fashioned tea kettle any day.
Come on, I want a cup of coffee. Maybe I'll come back.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here, not to mention the machinery on the table.
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra credit. I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
Have a quick look around before
That's
I investigate
quite the book
table.
collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose. They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
They're just doing what flies do best.
Flying.
Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
I've got a button.
I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Well, now, this is interesting.
Is it now? Etheric affects flora. Larger, more vibrant flowers. Chlorophyll production seemingly triples. Root systems strengthen, increasing capacity to absorb nutrients. Conclusion. Plants thrive from exposure to small etheric currents. Further experiments are needed to determine the long-term effects. Etheric affects fauna. Brain is clearly affected, inducing a trance-like state. Muscle control lost, wings flap in predictable patterns. Conclusion. If animals with greater cognitive ability, including humans, are exposed to specific quantities of electricity, you will go into a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. Interesting.
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
Could it have been Juliet then? What's going to happen to the flies? Oh, what are the flies doing?
Oh, would you look at that?
They're flying slower.
Oh, would you look at that? Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
What about if I do it again? Do they go pop like animals in a microwave? Oh no, they go back to normal. Interesting.
They're just doing what flies do best.
One more time then. Put them back into their little slower state. You know, I think useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach, or for plucking those pesky long eyebrows. Can I pick anything up from here? That's a no.
I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or plant-related stuff.
Check the
St. Denis Cemetery.
The
Best view in
cemetery.
the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days. Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum. The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
So I need to get in there and have a look.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Okay. But I need to get into that
Would you
tomb.
mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
But it's my dear departed Aunt Hester's birthday.
But it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've got my orders. Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content.
So how do I get the police
Good day to you,
officer to move?
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
How do I get her to move? Let's ask Juliet about her ethertricity experiments.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Yeah, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
Could lie and tell her it was her brother.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity.
Bet you have.
But they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
I still need a stimulant, Andrew. Find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. But where am I going to find a stimulant? A coffee shop is the only place I can think of. But I actually need to buy a coffee. Try again. Maybe if I speak to Constance.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Maybe.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a
Yes.
touch more powerful
Coffee.
than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
No. Much more powerful. Alright then.
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Was it this middle one?
Simon Banks.
No.
I'm sure. P.D. Preston's patent, handsomely upholstered. I suppose if you. Professor Xander Colt Tit III's emulsified soporific, available at all discerning pharmacies. I really don't know.
Come on, where is
Dr.
it?
Tennyson's
Here we go.
Vigor Pill. He's thinking.
Oh, I can't grab it to actually buy any. Well, we go speak to the policeman. What I'm going to do first of all, though, is I'm going to take a quick break, go and get myself a nice drink and maybe a little snack. So I will, if I can remember where the button is on the bloody stream deck. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. As back. Right. Got myself a drink, got myself some crisps, or as you Americans call them, chips. They're not chips, they're crisps. We were going to talk to the police officer, see if we can get him to leave.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
Oh. I wasn't going to idly chat.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content. Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
Oh, how do I distract him? God, it's cold in here. I suppose I can talk to Martin again. Or Albert.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
Intriguing. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. I either need to speak to Andrew, maybe might know, Juliet might know, and of course Mother might know, but she's catatonic. Maybe Juliet first.
She's busy. Best not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
Right, maybe not her then. Do I have any stimulants? Oops, I've gone to the wrong place.
I'm here.
Good to see you've made it back in one piece. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even...
Let's see if I've got some stimulants.
Yes, your soporific is still in there. Stop being so paranoid. It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you.
Maybe Adelaide can help. I will speak to her.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
I hope I am. I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
Yeah.
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
My partner in crime is my wife.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
Oh, he's a racist
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind.
Yeah, it's
exactly
definitely
how
racist.
many of them have you got lying in wait for poor, unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one. And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work. I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
That's one way to distract a police officer so you can get into a tomb. This is what appears here. That's this view.
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is...
Tomb?
Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
I have his pills.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death. John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Gone but never forgotten.
These
Douglas
are all
Chesterton,
the Chestertons.
1791 to 1840.
Ooh, I wonder
Good
if these
riddance.
are lilies.
These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Desmond Chesterton,
I
1740.
read that one.
Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. Ab Eterno. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick. Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace.
This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No,
Would have
but I
helped.
was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
What's this up in the corner?
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles?
What is it that I picked up? Homemade, a small amount of stimulant pills handcrafted by Andrew Montgomery and in his home laboratory. Right. Be able to go and give him one of those pills and then talk to him now. I still want to
I
know
have some
who
questions
Ray
for you.
is.
Oh, goody.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
What you're doing is highly illegal. I have no choice but to report you to the police. I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation. Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you. My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
Right, let's ask about his mother.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
Out riding?
What's your relationship with
I
the
don't know if
servants
that's
like?
a clue.
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side?
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice.
Ray's the name
quiet.
of the
But get him
bird.
started,
Okay.
and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
That would be another thing to go to, but I guess I can find the cabin another way.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The two of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
And can I talk to Ray a little more? Will he give away some secrets?
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Rock!
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey. Rock!
Who's a pretty bird?
Rock! Ray's a pretty bird.
So long, Birdie.
Rock! Bye-bye.
That's about all it says. Right. I'm trying to find this hunting cabin. She's not going to talk to me, but maybe the doctor knows.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might find him?
I only wish I did.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
Yeah,
I hope I answered them adequately.
Maybe Juliet will know. If she'll talk to me.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery.
I now know where the cabin is.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Check my clues. My tweezers, the empty bottle of pills, Dr. Fellow's testimony, homemade vigor pills. My suspect is still Albert Martin. And those are my documents. So what do I need to do? Question the residents of Dupre Manor. I still can't question the mother. Investigate the Chesterton tomb, which I've done. Return to Upton and accuse Albert Martin. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. And speak to John. John might help me with the rift.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon. I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest. An absolute bore.
An absolute
Are these
bore.
even native to New Britannia? Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting. One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using it currently. Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear. Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of murdering innocent creatures. It seems Mr. Dupre is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try and have me withdrawn from my studies is just unbelievable. Don't worry, I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin her life is quite enough. Juliet.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Who the hell are
Jean
you?
Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite. You know, I've heard it said that needing to have so many guns is a sign of overcompensation.
Alright, let's have a chat.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
I suppose so, yeah.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for
I
once,
agree.
I don't think it's from his wife.
Definitely hiding something.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling
does he
Mr.
do as a
Dupre
job,
avoids
though?
his family on purpose. But why?
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's death?
Figuring out who's done what here.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boy they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do. You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
I don't think I'm any closer to figuring out what's going on. I could talk to Juliet about her stepfather, see if that brings me any more clues.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
Okay, so
No
now
more questions for now.
Now I know
And if you don't mind, I have work to do.
I know what it is that...
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying?
Yeah, what...
Of course you are.
Am I?
Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin, hence they're falling out. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Right, so question residents here. Investigate the Chesterton tomb. Return to Upton and accuse Albert Martin. Speak to Jean Dupre. Return to Upton and accuse Juliet Montgomery. Madame Dupre tried to have Juliet withdrawn from the university because she did not approve of her studies. When Juliet found out, she was furious. This caused an irreparable rift between mother and daughter. Martin sounded genuine enough. But Albert was accused by Madame Dupre's son, involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet. Upton thought he was innocent, but his family practices voodoo, and Dr. Fellows indicated that Dupre was likely poisoned. But then Juliet, Madame Dupre's estranged daughter, hates her mother for disapproving of her relationship and trying to have her removed from university. Researching ethericity and ability to make living creatures appear dead. Let's speak to Upton. I'm going to accuse Juliet, and let's just see what happens.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Juliet Montgomery, Madame Dupre's estranged daughter.
Her daughter? But why?
Madame Dupre disapproved of Juliet's relationship with Mr. Martin and also tried to have her withdrawn from university. Juliet grew to hate her and wanted to be free of her overbearing and controlling influence.
So, how did she do it?
Aside from studying botany, Juliet is also interested in ethericity. She rents a room in the Chum where she conducts her experiments. Among her notes, she talks about the ability to use the power to put living things into a death-like trance.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information and we can make an arrest. It'll be bittersweet news for Mr. Martin, I think. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, Go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Juliet Montgomery?
Yes, may I help you with something?
You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupre.
What? But how can that be?
Come with me, Miss Montgomery. We'll need to question you at the station.
Hopefully I've got it right. Do I ever find out?
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
Moi? About me? What about me?
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say. You want me to find the flower shop burglar? You want me to talk about this, how this case went? Honestly, I don't know. I'm sick of playing this game. Let's ask about the case then.
You want to talk about how we did on this case?
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We discovered it was Juliet who was to blame.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
All right.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
No, just talking to myself.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
I was just going over the case, thinking out loud. I was just talking to myself.
No, there isn't anyone else here. I was just talking to myself.
You're not going crazy on me, are you, Miles?
A little bit.
No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous, Addie.
Just checking.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
Oh, cutting. Considering I shot him. 2 weeks later.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
The Anti-Steam Society, the League for the Preservation of Blowing Things Up, the Boom Boom Boys.
Something simple, like the Anti-Steam Society.
AWS.
That almost makes them sound classy. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
By getting ready for bed, he means taking
Let
the
it be for
drugs.
now. You've got your own things to take care of. Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
Addie can handle whoever's at the door. I need to take my medicine.
Okay, I'll take my medicine and then something will go horribly wrong. I'm sure of it.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Be right there, dearest. Who was that at the door?
A late night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Of course I have. Just as I was going to bed. Boredom. This case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at the Rowan. ASAP. It's urgent.
It seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific?
Yes.
Are you going to be all right to go?
I just took my drugs.
It won't kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
Right. Go find out what's going on. Let's get this case started and then I'm going to finish up for the day.
Hello, Upton.
I'm glad you came, Fordham. Sorry for disturbing you this late.
What's so urgent that couldn't wait until morning?
I'm curious to know what's so important that it couldn't wait until morning.
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. The report came in tonight just before my shift ended. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
Harris, as in Harris Construction
Harris, as in Harris Construction Company?
The very same. Owned by Malcolm's father, no less. Now you see why they wanted to keep this out of the public eye.
Indeed. If they manage to get a new transatlantic airship off the ground, it'll be an aura mine. I can see why they'd make an easy target.
Don't worry, Upton. I'll get the kid back before they can say hot toddy. Okay, I'm on it. I'll try and find him as soon as I possibly can.
Okay, I'm on it. I'll try and find him as soon as I possibly can.
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out, or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well, so feel free to stop by.
Just gonna sit in the coffee shop. Now, I'm actually gonna save it. We're gonna call this. I can't. Just click save. So no, I want to create a new save. Yeah, alright, save it on the map screen. Right, I'm gonna call that a day. It's a nice relaxing game. But I've got stuff to do. So I can't sit here all day playing video games. Thanks for stopping by, and we will be continuing this on next stream. I'm supposed to stream Mondays and Wednesdays as well, but my job sucks, and I'm usually not in the mood. So look out for it. Could be tomorrow, could be next Sunday. Who knows? But have a good weekend, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.